What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? This is I.O.W. Sports. Detroit Mel in the house with you today. Think Nick will be along shortly. I think Lamar will have to handle some business. And sorry for the lateness, but a brother fell asleep. I was in this piece, not like a heroin addict. But anyway, I'm in here now. Ready to get this piece started. So if you haven't done it, go over to our Facebook page, I.O.W. Network Sports, where you can share your memes, share anything you like to share. If you want to do a poll, share a poll. If you got a podcast you want to promote, this is the place for it. This thing is for you, and you over there. And if you have something that you're promoting, something you're selling, this is what it's for. It's all about promoting. It's all about network. It's in the name. You want to network? Go to our Facebook page. And always, you can go over to a YouTube page and like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Bing! Hit that like button, of course. Bang! And you will be notified every time we go live, any videos that we shall upload. For instance, every time we live like today. That's us. Hi, how you doing? We live. And every Monday and Thursday at 4 o'clock, you will catch us live. Also, you can catch our brother Nick Shine with his Proud Jets fan podcast. And Lamar has his own podcast, talking everything Chiefs. So if you like the Chiefs and you root for the Kansas City Chiefs, that is the place you need to be. Also, for my Detroit players out there, all of my people from Detroit, if you want to talk everything Detroit, you can follow me with the No Name Podcast. I am there talking everything Detroit Lions. Also, scrolling at the bottom, which I will get it up in a minute. Give me a second. Brother still got to get all this stuff together. But you see it scrolling at the bottom. That is for the I.O.W. Network cash out for what's called the thing snapbacks. If you want to get a snapback, drop $30 into our cash app, which you see scrolling across the bottom. Cash app. You get that, send us an address, and we will send you out a fresh snapback. I think that's all the preliminaries I got. Welcome. What's up, Mac? What's going on with you, bruh? We are here to talk sports, man. It's been an interesting sports week. You know, we gotta get into I have to set some time. I'm gonna try not to let Nick hijack it, but I have to set some time to talk about Aaron Judge and what he's doing with the Yankees. I mean, seem to be having an amazing season this season. What up, though, Ant? So we got to talk about it. Preview the football upcoming week. Talk about my Lions. Going against Minnesota. We're gonna talk about the Jets, KC. We'll talk about the Commanders. I was watching some things. One of the things I do is I watch other sports podcasts. Like I watch a Bears podcast, see what they're talking about. I watch Commanders podcast, see what they're talking about, and things like that. And since I got Ann on here, I'm gonna bring up something I saw. Oh, so I heard a few people talking about that they need the Commanders need to fire Jack Del Rio, and that's part of the problem of why they're losing. It's not Carson Wentz, it's Jack Del Rio. And since you on here, I'm gonna let you speak on that. To me, I'm still gonna say it's Carson Wentz. I mean, what's up, man? I don't know if you heard what I was saying before.
I heard
But
most of it.
I was watching. So I watch other podcasts. I just Lions podcast. I do watch. I come I watch y'all, and I watch Commanders, Bears, and stuff like that. So I was watching this Commander podcast, and matter of fact, it was two or three of them that said the problem is Jack Del Rio needs to be fired. It's not Carson Wentz. That's why they're losing. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's tough to win games in the NFL when you're missing your best player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chase Young isn't playing yet, so guy's a game changer.
Right.
And I always say this, man. That year Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, the game against Washington was the closest game they played that whole playoff run. They had Heineke at quarterback, but they had that D line cranking.
Right.
So when you look at the Steelers without T.J. Watt. They got T.J.
Mhm.
Watt against the Patriots. They win that game.
Right.
I made a joke in a fantasy football league today in the chat. I was like, "Am I allowed to put the Steelers defense on the injured reserve since T.J. Watt's out?" Like
Right.
that's what these marquee edge rushers are. So they're game changers, man. And when you're missing your best player, which he is,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be the same team because it exposes so much on your back end. Now I know the rest of the D line is good, but he's that main piece. So I can't say fire a coach after 2 weeks, especially when his team's not fully loaded.
Right. And that's part of what I was kind of saying. And I still say Wentz shoulders some of the blame because he threw a lot of picks in that first game against the Eagles, right? Against the Eagles. No, Jacksonville. Against Jacksonville. He threw a
Jacksonville was
lot.
week one,
Yeah.
and then you guys were two.
Yeah. He threw a lot of picks. Now he only threw like one or two, I think, against Detroit, but I think he threw 3 or 4 against Jacksonville. So I can't wholly say it's Carson Wentz's fault totally, but not say it's not his fault at all. I disagree with that. And I kind of go
They
along with
scored
you.
27. I'm sorry. They scored.
Right,
They scored 27. You can't blame the offense. But if you got Chase Young, you're not giving up 36 against the Lions. Like, I'm not saying that to insult you.
No, yeah.
Saying that looking big picture, you're probably getting the golf and at least making him feel a lot more uncomfortable because now you're doubling somebody who may not deserve the double, who does better at single coverage because you're going to double Young when Young's there and healthy. So it's domino effect in a negative way that he's out, right? And even Anthony said Washington is known for the front four.
Mm-hmm.
But when one of those four is out, it's a major piece to miss.
I agree. I just think that going along talking about firing Jack Del Rio and saying Carson Wentz don't take some of the blame. He threw a lot of picks.
Who's saying fire him though? The
yeah, there was a couple of Washington fans were saying that they need to fire Jack Del Rio. I was like, I think I get a little too far.
It's clickbait commentary. There's no logic behind it. It's to get a rise, I think, like that. And I think too many fans do that. And professionals do it too, right? Like it sparks conversation. What are we doing right now? You say the outrageous and people talk about it. Mm-hmm. But breaking it down from a logical fan aspect, someone who doesn't have a horse in the race,
right?
I can't have that conversation after 2 weeks. No way, no how.
I agree. And see, that's my thing too. A lot of these fans, because a lot of these podcasting fans out there, they only fans of the team. They're not fans of the sport. And I think that's a difference. I'm a fan of football first. Trust me. I love my team and everything like that. I will rep my team, but I'm a fan of the sport. And I think when you
watch a college game between like South Chattanooga, Tennessee, and New Mexico State at 1:00 in the morning before I ever put on like a WNBA or an NBA game.
Right, and that's how I am.
That's how much I love football. I'll watch nobody's play just to see the strategy, what the coaches do, the X's and O's, what's their philosophy, what's their offensive game plan. It's so interesting to me on so many levels that just as a fan, and then when I was coaching for 7 years, I was a sponge looking at all different types of things to do.
And that's how I am, man. I agree with that. Because I put out a podcast one time. It was it's his channel, Chicago Bears channel, Swift on Sports, and he said, talking about how Jared Goff was crap and this and like that. So I did a response video to it I responded to everything, every point he made, and put logic behind it. And every Chicago fan that came on and did comments, all they said was, Wentz is crap. I mean, not Wentz. I'm sorry. Jared Goff is crap. He sucks. No kind of substance, no kind of thing behind it. I said, okay, why you say that?
And that's my It's bullshit.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
You know what? Fuck them. They look stupid right now because Goff looks really, really good.
Right.
Goff looks better than Stafford right now.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. So she brought that. Let's talk about the Rams, man. What's going on with the Rams, bro? They struggled the last 2 games they played.
I don't think Allen Robinson fits what they want to do. He's not that shifty route running receiver. You saw week 1, they played zone. Stafford said the he gave you the blueprint on how to stop them. He's like, Bills played zone, I think 100% of the night. Okay,
Right.
why would anyone else play man? Play zone, eliminate Allen Robinson.
Right.
And just bracket Cup on that side. I mean, no matter what you do to Cup, zone, man, double, he's going to eat. He's going to get his. Stafford feeds him. He trusts him. He knows the route running is going to be precise, man.
Right.
So it's very difficult not to try to look his way because you know he can get open no matter what the defense does. I think you're missing Woods because Woods complemented Cup very well.
I like that too, and I think
next thing I was going to say was another good route runner, right?
Right.
Allen Robinson's never been a good route runner. He's like a Mike Evans. It's like hit me with a quick slant, or I'm gonna go up the sideline, lob it up, and I'm gonna try to moss somebody.
Right.
I've never viewed, and as good as Evans is, he's very good at what he does, but he's never been viewed as an elite route runner. Godwin's the route runner. Evans is the physical beast, right?
Right. Godwin just can't stay healthy.
Excuse me. I still don't so excuse me, man.
I understand, man. I had it, so I understand.
Fourth time's a charm, I guess.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, but what do you think about them not playing in the preseason? Did that have anything to do with it too?
It's now that you added 17 games, that you added that extra game, you're giving the good teams an extra game to rise, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's a massive increase, but one extra game is the difference from maybe making the playoffs and winning on a tiebreaker, or you didn't get that chance in game 16. So I think that there's a benefit to it, and I think that teams don't give a shit about going undefeated. That's something fans talk about, right?
Right.
The main thing is get to the regular season healthy. Try to get throughout the season healthy, and the good teams will always separate themselves from the pack.
I agree.
There's a Jets fans who are saying this week the Jets are tied for the second best record in the league because you're either 2-0 or you're 1-1,
right?
Or you're 0-2. So you're tied. Mathematically, it's an accurate statement, but it's like, all right, well, we know shit's going to separate, right? We know Buffalo's going to go on a tear. We don't know if anyone's going to beat Buffalo.
Man, Buffalo looks
right now.
Man, Buffalo looks crazy good, bro. I mean, I don't think they'll go undefeated either, but right now, boy, they look good.
Yeah, they look like a machine. There's no doubt about it, man. They look like they're clicking mid-season, postseason type of play. They look like they just played the Chief game a week ago.
Right.
They look that in rhythm and in sync.
You got what tonight's game was? What, Steelers and Browns?
Yeah, that's the NyQuil game.
Bruh.
Jacoby Brissett versus Mitch Trubisky without Watt.
Come on, Matt. Let the show get going a little bit before you start with stuff.
We know Matt's time. I like that he put two laughing faces after it because that's me and you. What's up, man?
But so I don't know, man. So me and my manager was talking about this today too. I think I will put the kid in, man, in place of Trubisky. I know it's preseason, but he looked good, man.
Yeah, he looked good. These guys who are not.
Yeah, I'm saying. I admit that, but Trubisky don't look that. He don't look that good.
But that's what they want to do. They want to run it with Najee, be conservative, and maybe hit a big play. They're going to play like Big Ben did when he was young, right? Hand it off to Jerome the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I was handing off to Mendenhall for a while.
Right.
Give us one drive late in the game. Give us one clutch drive. We're not going to let you lose the game for us in the second quarter, but we may let you win it in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And if they got T.J. Watt last week, they're sitting 2-0 with Trubisky.
Yeah. I think they missed. They really missed Watt. They missed that.
I'm going to reply to that right now.
Go ahead.
Matt, I'm going to put the kibosh on you because I'm rooting for you Monday night. Good luck against the Cowboys. Please please do not let them fucking go 4-1 or 3-2.
Oh my God! Please don't.
That.
Please don't. It's too much.
Beat
I tell
them.
you, the world is better when
Truly,
Cowboys. The
say
world is better when the Cowboys lose. It's just so much better.
social media is better. Life is better.
Life is
Sports
better.
talk is better.
Everything, So what do you think? So what do you think about this matchup, though? I mean, besides the snoozer, who
Made
you
the
see
better run
winning it?
team win, right? Made the better run team win. And right now,
I think that's Cleveland, man.
I do too, because Jacoby hasn't been bad.
No, he hasn't been.
They scored 30 points against the Jets. The downfall was scoring when they shouldn't have, right?
Right.
That's been
Right.
lately. You take the knee, you don't score, Jets never get the ball. 2 knees, the game's over. Jets lose.
Right. Right.
So that's an anomaly, right? Like I'm a realistic Jet fan. I'm not pumping my chest out week 1. I'm like, why the fuck were we down 13 to the Browns with 2 minutes left? Like that's what I'm pissed off about. So I know people just look at the record and think, oh, we won the game. No, why did you win? Why did they lose? Why did they win? Why did we lose? You know what I mean? There's
right.
more to it than just the final score. So I think this game should be low scoring. But whenever you say that, right, it's 17-10 the game, right? So it's I'm interested to see. I'm interested to watch Pittsburgh because we play them the following week. We play Cincinnati Sunday, and then we play Pitt. Curious to see what they do without Watt. I know they still got Casey Hampton, right? The other pass rusher was good. I know they got him, and I know we got 2 good guards in Tomlinson and Vera Tucker. So I'm interested to see how they bring the pressure. Is it up the middle now that Watt's not there, coming around the edge?
Right.
So
I'm laughing at it too.
I love when Matt takes over the chat. It's always such
I think now here's my thing. I think that Cleveland has the advantage because of the run game. Now I think Garrett
maybe play too, right?
Yeah, I think Garrett may be out though. I have to look that up. I thought I heard something about. I don't know if he's questionable or out. I'm gonna have to look. Matt. Okay.
I got
a win's a win, but it depends on.
I could bring up the Bleacher Report matchup.
Okay.
And it'll tell you who's. Oh, it says Clowney is out.
I know Clowney was out, but I heard that he was
only injury listed for tonight's game.
Okay, well then they be all right because Clowney always out. that's his career.
Yo, I gotta say something. Number 1, thank you for the Amazon Prime. I was able to watch the game last week with that.
No problem, man. No problem.
Number 2, you have different options on the bottom of the screen on how to view the game.
No, I never paid attention.
If you're streaming it, like I use the laptop and I hook up HDMI to the TV. But you use the mouse, you go to the bottom during the game and it says like broadcast options or viewing options, and you click that and it gives you regular broadcast, Spanish broadcast. Then it gives you like the Amazon advanced stat thing where they break the huddle and there's trackers over each player's name. So it tells you where Najee Harris is lined.
Wow. I'm going to watch it like that.
Play snaps, it shows you all the skill guys' routes that they're running. Like there's a blue line tracking their route to show you. Like it's intense.
Right.
It's different. But like it's really cool. Like to check it out.
Amazon trying to corner the market, man. So they got something different.
Every television deal that comes up, they can buy.
But I don't know, man. I like the Browns in this one, man. I just like the Browns. But this is me personally. I never really was a fan of Trubisky anyway. But if they had Watt, I think I'd be kind of on the fence between the two. But I think because they don't have Watt, that's gonna give Jacoby a little more time. I'm not concerned about it not having Clowney because Clowney been in and out his whole career. But I just think with Hunt and Chubb, they some beasts, man. They be running, and that's gonna be a low scoring game. But I think Cleveland win this game.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
What up, Kobe?
What's up, bro? Spreads up to 4.5. They always play like a field goal game. That AFC North always plays a close game. I would take, if I'm betting it, I would take the 4.5 and the over, because the over is 37 and a half. That's tough. 2017 game hits the under. Yeah, I could see this being a 2017, a 16-13. But I can also see Chubb having 3 touchdowns like he had last week, and Najee having 2. So I could see a 27-24 if they break some runs.
Yeah, right. I was about to say, like you said earlier, and I agree with you on this one. The run game is a difference maker in this game.
Yeah,
it is.
Which you got to give the edge to Cleveland. And Cleveland's home. I just think it'll be a field goal game, and if Cleveland's laying 4.5, I would take the Steelers taking that, and I think it's going to be a 3-point game.
Okay,
that would be my prediction for the money line. If anybody wants to gamble, my picks are not guaranteed, obviously, unless it's the score of the Super Bowl.
That's Lamar's text me. Oh, okay. So what do you think about the Buffalo game? Buffalo and hold on a second. I gotta pull it back up. I'm answering this text. Oh, Buffalo playing the Dolphins.
Miami is a very difficult place to go and play this time of year.
Right.
The heat down there is just different. I think it's a shame for America that this game is on at 1:00 and just regional. Like, you won't be able to see it unless you're out at the bar.
Right.
5.5 is a lot to give on the road. 5.5 is a lot. Like, they're asking you to take the Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm. Look at laughing at Kofi. But and say, Bills can't leave Hill one-on-one.
They play zone.
They play zone. Yeah, they play zone most of the time.
They play zone the whole game against the Rams. And the thing is that they can shade their coverage in the zone. Their linebackers are athletic enough to impact it, where you're not just picking them off over the middle the whole game.
Right.
I really, really think that the Bills are just clicking on all cylinders. And I'm looking at last week as more of a Ravens implosion than a Dolphins comeback, kind of like the Cleveland Jet game, right? Like, Cleveland won that game, and just the Jets took advantage of it. Like, Jets had no business winning that game. And if Lamar Jackson is the MVP QB that everyone says he still is, he makes a couple third down throws. Dolphins don't get the ball back, and they don't score so easily. So it's I would be shocked if Miami pulls this win out. Absolutely. I would be like jaw-dropping, Family Guy Brian when his jaw drops. It's the breast enlargement. And like his jaw just hits the table. Right. That would be me. Like, if I see Miami up by 13 with like 4 minutes left, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? I just think Buffalo's on a mission, man. I think they've gotten kicked in the dick too many years in a row by the Chiefs. And I just think that every opponent they're lining up against, we see red. We see the Chiefs. That's just how I feel.
Agree with that, Ant. I agree with that.
I'm shit scared. We got to play them twice.
Hey, we got to play on Thanksgiving, so shoot.
Oh, man. I would eat enjoy the breakfast. Enjoy the breakfast that day, bro. That's the last thing you enjoy.
But here's the thing I'll say, and I'm going to speak what you said, too, because that kind of made me think about this. But with this game, I think this is the game you're going to see really the litmus test where Miami's at. And I don't mean, and I'm not talking about win and loss, but how they play against Buffalo.
Agreed. Complete. Is this for real, or was it 1-1? You played a shitty Patriots team. The Ravens imploded. You were down 21.
Right.
You had a miraculous comeback. The whole country's talking about you and saying Tua's the real deal. You go out and lose this game 41-13. You're the Dolphins.
You're the Dolphins, right?
You're the Dolphins. And then the Jets win. They're in second place, and then I'm just streaking up and down town all day.
Please do not film me.
Yes, I was celebrating second place in week 3, bro. I'm going nuts. I take that. Forget the spread. Take everything else. Straight up win. I think the Bills. Like, I don't know how you pick against the Bills in this game, and in any game right now. Unless
it's
Bill came in Kansas City. Still gets paid in tokens. They get paid in wings, bro. They get paid in
Paid in
wings.
wings.
You missed that joke, Kobe. That was a layup, bro. How do you miss that?
I take the Giants over Dallas on Thanksgiving on Matt. But going back to what I was
the
saying.
Second game they play
The
Monday
second
night,
game.
and then they play Thanksgiving.
Yep, that's what Matt said. Here's the thing,
nice.
though. Going back when I was talking about Buffalo and the Lions too, that lets you know. I want to see how they play against Buffalo. Are they gonna get completely annihilated? I don't think they're gonna win. Don't get me wrong. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid saying they're gonna win, but I was kind of curious if they're gonna get completely annihilated or they play pretty decent against them. I kind of want to see where they are because that's an elite team. So how do you hang with an elite team? You know, you can go with Philadelphia and they put up 35, but I don't think Philly is elite. Philly's one of those teams that I can see them beating any team. They have the ability to beat any team at any given time, but I don't consider them elite because of the talent level they have.
Best way to describe Philly is matchup dependent. If they got good matchups that they can exploit, they can really exploit them. But if it's an equally matched game and their strengths, fast linebackers, a good pass rush that can contain, you know, a cover who can cover, a corner who can cover Brown. Yeah, I think, but that schedule for the whole NFC East is so fucking weak. They can all win 8-9 games because the schedule is as weak as it comes. It's the easiest schedule for any division in the league. So they're going to stack some additional wins, like a 4 or 5 win team. Normal years might be 7 or 8 this year, and think they're on the verge, and then they fall back down to 4 or 5 next year. But I do agree that Philly's playing well.
Yeah, they're playing well. I'm not taking nothing away from them.
While we're on them, they go into Washington this week. 6.5 points. I lay it. I know Wentz is playing well, but like I said, without Chase Young and without that marquee edge rusher who can neutralize a mobile quarterback, and then when the quarterback goes to move, he can get to him.
Right.
I would lay the points this week. I really would.
I think Philly will get Washington. Even with Chase Young, they get him. It might be a closer game with Chase Young, but I think they'll beat him. I need a fact check.
The running QB went all the way to the Super Bowl. Steve Young.
Yeah,
Steve Young was an elite passer. He could run, but he didn't look to.
Right. I'm trying to think.
Big Ben, when they were younger, Big Ben was more known for breaking the pocket and running.
Right.
That Super Bowl in 2006 that they first won, he was in his prime with breaking tackles and running. Not known as a mobile quarterback. He was more known as a physical quarterback who can get out and run. If you tried to Elway ran a bit.
I think that's about it I can think of. Because like that year, Randall Cunningham when it was good, they didn't go to the Super Bowl.
I'm trying to think of the top. Yeah, Steve Young was the one that jumped out. You're at Cunningham. They blew it on the Gary Anderson kick.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a kick the whole year, extra point or field goal. That was 98 year. The Jets should have beat Denver. Should have been a Jets Minnesota Super Bowl, and they both. McNabb.
I guess you could. Yeah, I guess you could McNabb. Yeah.
Same with McNabb though. Like he looked to throw first, but he could move, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like, Lamar looks to run. Michael Vick early on looked to run.
But Vick can throw better than I think. Especially in later year.
But Vick's accuracy was shit until he got with Andy Reid post-prison.
Right.
Like that's why I started calling Andy Reid. I was gonna say Andy Vick. It sounded like Andy Dick, the weirdo from TV.
Oh my God, Andy!
What was the movie? Jesus Christ! I just watched it. Old school. Remember, girls? He's teaching them the blowjob.
Hey, but no, all his characters he played, he act like that in real life. That's the crazy thing.
He's not acting.
Right. He just being himself.
He shows up and be like, "What are we gonna do with this scene?" He goes, "I bought a bunch of carrots. I'm gonna teach the girls how to blow." They're like, "All right, go ahead, do it. You know what you know, buddy." But yeah, once Vic got with Andy Reid, he became like an elite pocket passer. So, yeah, I'm not saying Philly's making the Super Bowl, although the NFC, Tampa looks like trash, Rams look like trash,
the way it hurts running,
Cowboys look like trash. I mean, why can't they, right? Why can't they represent the NFC? I'm not saying they will at this point. I still think the Rams will figure shit out, and I just think they're talented enough to get there. But why can't Philly do it?
I kind of on what I don't think Hurts is an elite passer. I think part of his problem is that he runs prematurely. He doesn't wait for things to open up. As soon as he feels pressure, he takes off instead of like looking to step up, maybe step to the side, or maybe roll out. He just looks just to take off.
Roll out.
Right. And I think he misses me and my homies. But
Sorry, I heard it. I had to, man. I had to break.
I understand, bro. I understand. He misses opportunities because of that. And I think that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt them, especially when you get into later in the season, playoff games and stuff like that. You're gonna need to make those plays because those games gonna get tighter.
Yes. And I'm not gonna act like I've seen. Like, I was sick on Monday. I fell asleep at 6:30. I woke up at 12:30. I slept through both games Monday afternoon or Monday night, so I didn't see any of it.
I saw the highlights. I saw like
play yet, so I can't speak on it. Obviously, I'm not going to see them play this Sunday, but you can't judge teams by seeing their highlights because obviously they only show you the best plays, right? So you got to see how things are. Like, sometimes the most important plays are that 3rd and 8 where you extend the play. Coverage.
Well, I agree with that, Matt.
The guy.
Right.
Let's scan the field or especially that he's gone. Yeah. And that's still being a young quarterback. That's still finding your comfort zone in the system.
Now, I will say,
I don't think the book is written on him yet, though. I think when you have the ability to run and run over people, because he scored plowing through some dude the other day. Multiple guys, I believe. You can always find comfort in the pocket as your career goes on, as you find familiarity with the system. But it doesn't hurt to fall back on that. I think Hurts wants to be a passer. But like Matt said, and like you said, it's finding that comfort where I know my second reads. I know here. Right now, his second read is run, which is working, right?
Right.
Then you see the playoff last year against Tampa where they get annihilated because they took that away.
Right. And my thing is you have to
that's what she said.
Sometimes you have to take that hit as a quarterback. It's like he don't want to be hit. It's like, oh, I feel pressure. Let me go. Sometimes you gotta stay in that pocket and take that hit to get the throw off to make that play. Because a 50-yard pass is better than a 20-yard run. You know what I'm saying?
I'll make a boxing analogy. If George Foreman could have moved out of the way of punches, he would have. But he wasn't quick enough, so he had to take all those shots.
Right.
Hurts doesn't have to take those shots, so he can get out of there, right?
Right.
So he's not just standing there with his head out like George Foreman the whole day punching. He can maneuver and get out. So it's good to rely on, but I think there's plenty of room for growth as a passer, and I think he's capable of doing it from everything I've seen. I don't think he's peaked as a passer, if that makes sense.
All right. Now we gotta get to your game, Bengals and Jets. What you thinking?
I'm petrified of this game.
Because that Cincinnati gonna turn that switch, and you don't want to turn that switch against your team. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Lyle Collins, the right tackle that they signed from the Cowboys, hasn't practiced the last 2 days with a back injury. There's a rumor that he might not even play Sunday.
Right.
So their line, which has not been good, is now throwing another non-NFL worthy starter up there. Something that concerns me is we play a lot of zone. Jacoby Brissett went 22 of 27, getting the ball out quick. When you get the ball out quick, or when you're playing a zone and they can exploit the openings instantaneously, it negates the pass rush. And when your strength is a pass rush, but you're playing a soft-ass zone, it could be a recipe for disaster. Like, I'm petrified that this is the game Cincinnati gets clicking. I do love the emergence of Garrett Wilson. I will say this. I think he is on the verge of superstardom. I think an 8-catch, 102-yard, 2-touchdown game may very well be close to his norm week in and week out. Like, it's not going to be the anomaly. Like, this might be they just going to feed this fucking dude.
Right. I agree with that one, Ant.
Yeah, and if you put whether it's Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, or Garrett Wilson, Michael Carter out of the backfield, Brees Hall coming out of the backfield and catching, we legitimately have weapons for the first time where we can go exploit the defense. George Fant was given off. He's the left tackle. He was given off a couple days. Was it Hawkinson? No, not Hawkinson. Hawkinson's the tight end from the Lions. Who's the edge rusher Cincinnati got from the Saints 2 years ago?
Is it Hendricks?
Hendrickson?
Is it Henderson?
I gotta look.
Yeah, look it up. Cause my memory ain't that good. I look up everything.
Are
you making a recipe? Somebody, what'd you make? I said, I don't know. I gotta Google it again. I forget.
Where is it? Yeah, you're right. Come on, load, bitch. But yeah, he's a menace. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. So he's a menace at the one edge. We started this tackle who's a rookie in the 5th round, Max Mitchell, and he's been rated higher than the top 2 guys taken. He's been rated higher than Aquano and Neal so far in pass protection and run blocking for PFF. So the guy is solid. He's not the most athletic, or he's not the most aesthetically pleasing to look at, like Neal is.
Right.
But he's just solid. Like he does his job better than a 5th round small school 3rd, 4th tackle when training camp started. Should do. So there's starting to be some cohesion with the line. You saw a little bit last week. They held Garrett to 1 sack, Clowney to 1 sack. And that was it. And the reason we were able to cook the last 2 drives and score those touchdowns so quickly is because Flacco had a clean pocket. Garrett Wilson is so fucking quick. He gets open so quickly that even a poor pass block line can get this guy open. And now they're just feeding him because they're like, all right, you can't stop him. That's how good he is with the route running.
Right.
So, I really want to see Sauce Gardner cover Chase. Now, the way the Jets are playing the defense, Sauce is always the left corner. He's on the left side of the defense all the time. I'm going to put Chase on the other side and use the size matchup with DJ Reed, who's a little bit smaller, 5'9", 5'10", but he's playing very well. So if the pass rush can get home, because we know Cincinnati likes to get vertical, they like to get downfield.
Right.
The pass rush can get there, and the crowd is involved, and it's not 17-0 or 10-0 like it was. I mean, they could be in it. I was supposed to go to the game, but I'm not feeling well, and I'm not going out and spending 10 hours on my feet all day after being sick all week.
Right.
So, but I know the crowd is going to be electric, coming off of a win, knowing we beat the Bengals last year. That place is going to be just fucking electric. It's going to be fun.
So let me ask you this though, just from a fan perspective, who wins the game?
Bengals should win. Should win. I think the Jets can win.
And when I was looking at it, I was kind of scared of who to pick because, you seeing how Cincinnati been playing. Are they gonna continue this trend? Are they gonna fix it? It's gonna be the time they fix it. I mean, I think they will fix it eventually, but when? We don't know. And then you see how the Jets been playing. The Jets been playing good. They got some weapons on offense. I like Sauce Gardner. Like I said, I don't really watch most of their games like with the YouTube, the replay through YouTube. Okay. But what I've been seeing,
that's great to watch a game in like 14 minutes. It's the best. They just play after play.
It's better than highlights because you get to see most of the game. You just don't see all the commercials. And you don't have
the commentary. Just play after play.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
And then sometimes you're listening to the commentator and you're like, oh, he's making a good rep. Bloop, next play. Guy was giving some good analysis, and all of a sudden, bloop, next play.
Matt say 34-28 Jets.
If we win, we got to score over 30. So I agree with Matt with that. We're not going to win a 2017 game. However, I think we can win a 30-24 game.
Yeah, 34-28.
I think you put the game in the crowd's hands and the defense late in the game where it's pass only.
Mm-hmm.
Between Quincy Williams and Quan Alexander, we can cover Joe Mixon coming out of the backfield. I think it. Let me say this is complete honesty, and this isn't like me taking away out. I'm not surprised if the Jets win. I'm not surprised if they lose. I really.
And that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Complete toss up. You could ask me now, and I'm gonna say I think Cincinnati's gonna start clicking. Right, like they're overdue. They're a great team. They're overdue.
Right.
And then I could say, all right, well, wait a minute. Maybe LaFleur's got something going now. We haven't even featured Elijah Moore yet in the passing attack. Now they're going to cue on Garrett Wilson. Now Elijah Moore goes for 130. You know what I mean? Like we have layers and options to an offense, which we haven't had since Decker and Marshall in 2015. So
Wayne Corbett.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. So what is your what is the Jets' weaknesses? What they need to work on? What scares you about them?
Teams getting deep, safety, pass coverage. You saw it against Baltimore. They got deep on us twice. If we played a little more man, I think we could get home a little more with the pass rush. But when you're throwing the ball in 1.5 or 1.8 seconds, it's tough for not many guys are getting there that quickly. Right. So I want to see a little more ball control. Like I want to see Breece Hall. Carter's been great. Carter's caught 12 passes in 2 games. Carter and Wilson each have 12 receptions after 2 games. They're both the running back and receiver both on pace for 96 catches. But let's get the run game going a little bit. Hall averaged, I think, 7 carries last week, 50 yards. So he's averaging 7 a carry. Let's maybe try to get a little rhythm going. You get a lead, you get up 7-3. Don't put a powerful run attack in and then hit some play action and go deep. Okay. So I think this is a game where Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, can really, really make a statement and say, like, we figured it out. We know what we want to do with Flacco. Week 1, we protected him. Week 2, we opened them up a little more. Week 3, we're going to fucking fully unleash like a downfield passing attack now because we trust them.
I say this. What scares me is when is the Flacco's age going to show up?
Hopefully when he's on the bench in 2 weeks. When's that?
That's the thing. It's like he's been looking like he has got this fountain of youth, and he's looking better than I've seen him play in a long time. Yeah. And it's a part of that is game plan. Part of that is the way they're scheming. But at the same time, how long is that gonna last for Flacco? Is he gonna be able to last until I'm about to say Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson come back?
It's a good problem to have if Zach is ready to go for Pittsburgh, and Flacco's coming off 2 wins, right?
Yeah.
It's when Zach is cleared, Zach's number 1, Flacco's number 2. You're not wasting year 2 of your number 2 overall draft pick to watch a 37-year-old quarterback try to rekindle shit. If you're winning with that, imagine when you're clicking with Zach and you have the play action and you have the mobile quarterback getting out. Now you got guys like Moore and Wilson getting deep down the field.
Right.
There's no debate. This past Monday, Jets groups I'm in on Facebook. If we're still winning, like meanwhile we were down 13 with 1:55 left to go, and you have Jets asking questions. Oh, if we win with Flacco, are we riding the hot hand? No. The 37-year-old hand's about to fucking fall off. Like, granted, he's playing nicely, but one game he had to throw the ball 59 times. We still only scored 9 points. So let's calm the fuck down and put shit back in perspective instead of being stupid New York fans that always keep everything way out of proportion.
These Dallas fans. But let's go to the next game. Raiders and Titans.
This is a game of 2 teams that haven't figured shit out yet, right?
Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing.
I mean, this could be a game where Tennessee clicks and they go off for 40 and Henry goes for 3 touchdowns and 180. Or it could be like 9-12, and it's a field goal game, right? Like neither team looks like they get it yet.
Man, the Raiders had that game against Arizona, man. Had that game.
Yeah. Choke City, baby.
So, is it McDaniels or is it the team?
It's a feeling yourself out period, right?
I think, but here's not to cut you off. But here's what I think.
What?
And you tell me what you think about this. I think because the way the Raiders play, the Raiders are more geared towards airing it out, running the ball with Jacobs, and Josh McDaniel is more doing this dink and dunk like he did with Brady. And I think that's kind of messing up the chemistry of the team. What do you think?
I haven't seen them play yet. I've just seen the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of counter with what you're saying with this. Whenever a new play caller gets with a new quarterback, there's always a feeling yourself out period.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of find it hard to draw that Sharpie line and say this is what it is. Obviously, they were up. They scored 23 early.
Right.
They had that rhythm going on. They were able to score some points. But then they weren't able to do it when it mattered. And that's usually third downs, fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's when teams start pulling out their good shit.
Right.
Maybe they don't know what their good shit is yet.
Okay.
So, it's not like not everybody comes in like Matt LaFleur in Green Bay and wins 13 games every year.
Right.
Right. But there wasn't much changing with that system. From what I understand was that Rodgers sat down with LaFleur and be like, this is what we do. This is what we like. This is plays that work. This is what we're going to run. And LaFleur kind of adopted it from Rodgers. So that's why there's cohesion. McDaniels is bringing in his own shit. So it's going to take a feeling out here. I mean, look at Russell Wilson in Denver, right?
Yeah, we're going to get to them. But go ahead.
He's doing the same shit he's done in Seattle. He's been an inconsistent quarterback the last couple of years. He's got some huge games with like 5 touchdowns, close to 400 yards. And then he's got a lot of 2 picks, 1 touchdown, 189-yard games. And he just doesn't look good a lot. Like I just think he's the most overrated player in the NFL. I really, really do.
Who you see winning this game? You had to make a pick.
I'm looking to see where it is. Hold on.
All right.
Week 3 is loading in Bleacher Report.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it's not really showing me where they're playing at.
Give me the Titans.
Titans.
They're both 0-2. Give me a Derrick Henry love fest. And if Tannehill don't play well, he's off to a slow start. You are going to hear booing, and you're going to hear them calling for Malik. Yeah, you're going to see it. He got some play last week when they were down. That's usually when it's like, all right, we did it in a blowout. Now let's see what the kid can do in a close game if the offense ain't clicking. Because now you get play action, and Tannehill is very athletic. But if he's just not feeling it, try something else. Try a new hand, right? Maybe you catch the hot hand with a rookie that no one knows anything about, and you sneak out with a win.
I'm gonna go Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Vegas.
It's a coin toss, right? It's like the Jet game. Even though the Jets are getting 6, like we both feel the same way about each game.
Right.
Ask us 5 minutes from now, we might flip. I take the Raiders. You take the like that's this type of game, right? Like neither one is like you're not going to bang the table saying they're going to win. I'm going to bet my house on it. Nothing.
Right.
You can see it going either way.
All right. Next game will be the Saints and the Panthers. Do we really need to talk about this? I'm going Saints, man.
The NFL season's not official until Christian McCaffrey's on the injury report, and it happened today. He just needs join him and all rights in the NFL.
and the Cowboys lost. That's all we need.
That's it.
All is right.
It's the holy trinity of the NFL. But yeah, I'm looking at. I think the Saints should handle this. Winston's going to have some of those games. It's the first time he lost to Brady as the Saint quarterback.
Right.
So I know it's in Carolina. This is another one that I just think they're evenly matched. I'm going to take the Saints because I did predict the Saints to win that division. So just to keep my prediction going. and cohesion in my end.
Mayfield don't look good, man. Baker Mayfield just doesn't look good. I mean, I never thought he looked good anyway. He had games, but he doesn't look good, man. I just see the Saints pulling this one out. You know, I like their defense. I think they can put pressure on Mayfield. Mayfield gonna make a lot of mistakes. And I think that's what's gonna cost them the game. So I think I'm taking the Saints on this one, man. Winston Jameson just needs to just play a nice even game. Don't try to be no hero. Let your defense do the work, because Mayfield is going to make mistakes. Period. So I'm taking the Saints in this one. I just have no faith in Baker Mayfield. That's just it. Here's one you probably like: the Ravens and the Pats.
I read today that Lamar hasn't practiced because of his elbow.
He don't play.
I'm sure he'll play, but he's a running back, so
Yeah. I don't need to throw the ball anyway.
I'm a little worried about the Ravens. I mean, they just signed JPP today. He's probably not playing Sunday, but they signed him today. I don't think the Patriots can win a game like this. I don't trust Mac Jones. If TJ Watt plays last week, Patriots are 0-2. And so, Matt, breaking news. Yankees designate for assignment Miguel Andujar. They break ways with Miguel Andujar.
Oh, wow. We're gonna get on. We gonna have to get on Judd too, and once he finishes football.
But yeah, I think the Ravens should handle business here.
Let me ask you. Oh, go ahead. You about to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna think of something else to expand upon that with. Go ahead.
But let me ask you this: you the Patriots, you going out 0-3. Is it panic mode?
They're 1-1 because they beat the Steelers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I think this whole season is going to be panic mode. I don't see them winning a lot of games. I really, really don't. I've said it. I've said they're a last place team. And I'm not saying that to root against Belichick. I do not trust Mac Jones. I think he was exposed.
I think
1 minute ago, Matt. 1 minute ago. I read it. I said it as I read it, brother.
I think.
Well, hold on one second. Matt, fuck you for not mentioning it in the chat, buddy.
I think Mac Jones could have done well. Well, first of all, they still had Josh McDaniels and pieces around him. I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but I think he's a good enough quarterback with pieces around him and a good play caller. I think part of their problem is
who's developing
right. That's right. So I think he has the skills there, the pieces there, like far as talent. He just needs to be more developed into from a college quarterback into a NFL quarterback. And there's no one there to develop him now. Let McDaniels go. So I think that's something that the Patriots need to work on next year, because they don't happen this year. I think for him to succeed, that's what they need to do. I'm watching Michael K. show.
The last thing he commented was Nick just said he plowed through multiple guys. Love that comment. All right, so here's the Patriots.
Go ahead.
Ravens, Packers, Lions, Browns. I could see them losing all 4 of those games. I could see them being 1-5 going into Monday night with the Bears, and both of those teams being like 1-5.
I think they beat the Bears though.
Yeah, but that's the next game I think they can win. Can they beat the Browns? Yeah. Can they beat the Lions? Not the way the Lions are playing now. I don't think so. We go to Green Bay. Mac Jones is shit. I don't trust him winning on the road.
Right.
So
Man,
I don't know.
that's
I
not
just
looking good for them.
faith in them. Can Belichick figure it out? Yes. Belichick can stifle anybody, right?
I don't think it'll happen this year.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll happen this
He's
year.
stifling them, right? Week
Yeah.
one, Dolphins 20-7.
Hmm.
You stifled them. You held them to 20. You only scored 7.
Right.
Week two, 17-14. You stifled them. You gave up
But the
14.
problem,
Barely scored 7.
but the problem is not the defense though. And you got all defensive coaches on your team.
But you're going to have to
Judd,
score 20 points or more. The
yeah,
average is like 24.5 for a win in the NFL.
right.
You can't be 17-14 game week in and week out and expect to be good. You're going to be a last place team if that's the games you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Jesus, let that be the case.
But I think that's part of it. They got Patricia defense, Judge defense, Belichick defense. Where's your offensive mind? And I think that's part of the issue. You have no one to develop the young rookie, or he's not a rookie, but the young quarterback, and you're gonna waste them. Let me say this for everybody get in any comments. I'm not saying that he's an elite quarterback. I just think if you have the right person develop him, he can succeed. Because don't really take if you put pieces around, it don't take elite quarterback play to win.
I thought you said take a leak quarterback.
Yeah, I might have. No, I'm still sleepy, bro.
Oh, when you're a piece of shit like he is, sometimes you got to take a leak with it.
So yeah, man, I don't know, man, because they one of the teams that people like to crap on, you know, because of their success before. A lot of people don't really talk about it. You know, it's like, but I just think I still have faith that if he develop, he'll be a decent quarterback. But anyway, next game, Lions and Vikings.
Let me
I
ask
don't
you a
know.
question.
Go
The
ahead.
way the Lions have played,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell are they getting 6 against the Minnesota team that hasn't put up a lot? Like,
I don't know, man. But here's
it's
the
one of
thing,
those
man.
Vegas fucking with you games, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
They want you to
Yeah,
take the
I guess because
Lions.
it's on the road. They're playing in Minnesota. Um, Minnesota came off a bad loss. They could be angry going into this game. You know how many?
It's a
I mean,
one
how many?
o'clock game on a Sunday, and Kirk Cousins can throw 4 touchdowns to Justin Jefferson and
Right,
games like that.
right. It's not a late night game. It's not a Monday night game.
Yeah.
So his Achilles heel is not there. And how many times you gonna see somebody shut down Justin Jefferson? So
Yeah.
so it's like it's not a good game for the Lions to go into. But I still feel they can win this game. You know, Minnesota haven't scored as many points the Lions put up in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
So if they can put up those same numbers against a Minnesota line who's not as good as the last two teams they played, they're not crap, but
Yeah.
their defensive line is not as good as the last two teams they played. So if they can put up points with this patchwork offensive line that they have, they'll win this game. It may be a shootout, but they'll win this game. I have confidence in it. I think
I
Hutch.
picked them this week. Straight up, I picked them.
Yeah, I picked them too. I think Hutch can get to and Harris can get to Kirk Cousins and frustrate him a little bit. And I like the way Cooler's been playing. You know, I think that they have some pieces there that can make some plays enough to win this game on defense. Are they great on defense? No, they need some more pieces on there. But I think they have enough pieces to beat Minnesota. So
Yeah.
in plus,
I really like what they got going on. I like what they're building. If Hutchinson can provide that presence, I don't expect him to get 3 sacks a week.
right?
He can create. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
If he can create chaos and havoc
Mm-hmm.
and be that guy that quickly, that only helps the rest of the defense, man. Which I'm a fan of already. It's like the no-name defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not many big names there, but it's guys who just get it and do their job collectively.
Right. I'm taking Lions, man. I like that. I like them. Then you got
Even though Minnesota's home, I just think the Lions got something cooking, man.
yeah, I do, man. I do, and it'd be good for them to go into this with a win and then roll into they play the Patriots next or
2 weeks. I think I
in
just saw
2
I had
weeks.
the Patriots schedule. I think it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. I forgot who they play next. Some
I got it. Hold on.
okay.
That's Vikings. Lions. But yeah, even though they're the underdog, Seattle
Seattle. Yeah, going to that Seattle
at
game, I give
Vikings, Seattle home at Patriots. Bye.
going just before the bye week, you can possibly go on at least a 2 game winning streak. Or if we win all 3 games, that'll be good going to the bye week. Players can
It's 2
rest.
and 3, right?
Yeah,
Whatever two. Vikings
yeah,
away, Seahawks home, Patriots away. Beat the Seahawks at home, which you should.
yeah.
Obviously, the Seahawks being able to put up the points you guys put up,
Right.
and then win one of the two on the road. Play 500 ball on the road, have a winning record at home. That's what playoff teams do.
And I think
And
that
then you got a
Jameson will be
bye
back.
week, and then you come out of the bye week at the
With,
Cowboys, home Dolphins, home Packers, at Bears, at Giants. Go 3-2 in that strip. You can be 6-4 and be in the heat of shit with 7 games left.
right. I like that. And I think after the bye week, Jameson come in. So then
Yeah, is
I'd
it
be
that
there.
quick?
Yeah, I think it's
That's
after
the
the
thing
bye
too.
week.
If you're winning games, you don't have to rush him.
That's what I've been saying, bro. I've been hearing a lot of Lions people. Oh man, we put him in. I was like, if it's me, let him sit out the rest of the year. Let him rehab. Let him get nice and healthy because nobody thinks they going to Super Bowl. So let him get healthy for next year.
I would
And
say
he,
week 9, the Packers. It's the first game in November.
mm,
Gives him 10 months from surgery. Because I think he got surgery like January 6th,
yeah.
first week. Um,
You didn't have to correct it. I know what you meant, Matt. They losing to the Giants.
that's an interesting game, right? Because if the Giants keep winning some games and you guys winning some games, it's 2 teams that were down on the coming up. That
Right.
would be an interesting matchup to
Well,
get
they
to.
ain't gonna have Saquon Barkley anyway, so it don't matter.
Not by that point. He fell off last week, right? Like week 1, he looked like he was king of the world. Week 2, he
Right.
looked like he was Saquon Barkley again.
Right.
He had a horrible, horrible week. I didn't see it. They played the same time as the Jet game, which is becoming more and more common since they both sucked the last decade. It used to be, it was never like that because they wanted to maximize the New York market. But now
Right.
with streaming and everything else, they're like, fuck it, let's put these 2 scrub teams on at 1 o'clock. But years ago, it was like, what? That's not happening. All right, who we got next?
Eagles Commanders.
We kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. I think the Eagles
Yeah.
should take this game. I'm curious to see if Washington still can throw the ball around like they have been.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Philly's defense a lot more than I have in the past. I've never been a big fan of Philly. Anyone who knows me knows I talk shit about them heavily.
Right.
But I got to admit, I kind of like what they got going on there. I really do.
Yeah, I see Philly winning this one. Chiefs and Colts. Colts don't look good, man.
No, I think this is a 47-point game.
I mean, even the defense don't even look good, man. He would talk about Matt Ryan and everything, but defense don't even look as good as they did. They did last year.
No, and Edwards Hilaire has been running like he's a force now. Like when he was a rookie in second year, he was like kind of tiptoeing through shit. Now he
Right.
rushes over Derwin James last Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs win this one pretty easily. I know it's on the road. I know it's in a dome. But I just think that the Chiefs are near the upper class of the AFC, and I don't think the Colts are there yet. Yeah, but what did he have at halftime, though? He had like 3 at halftime or something. Didn't he have like 7 rushes for like -1 or 3 yards at one point? That was the stat I saw. Give me a second. I got to take this.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the Chiefs wins this easily. Easily. Colts, don't look like they have nothing together, man. The Colts looks horrible. It was at Houston. They barely did anything with Houston. They tied with Houston. Matt Ryan looked pedestrian. And this was the pick for that everybody said, "Oh, they got Matt Ryan, man. They're gonna be something to mess with." Yeah, I said it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Matt Ryan had enough in the tank with what the Colts had already that they would do well. And it seemed like they're not doing anything. I don't see Jonathan Taylor running like he used to. Nothing. Defense ain't really doing as good as they normally do. Hey, they just look bad, man. Then they going up against a Chiefs team who not only is a good team but reloaded after they lost Tyreek. I like the pieces that the Chiefs have on defense and offense. I like um linebacker out Purdue, Kalafalus, Snuffleupagus, whatever his name is. You know, he's a stud, man. I like him. So I just think that I think the Chiefs are gonna roll the Colts. This won't even be close. This is gonna be one of those games you turn off by the second quarter. It won't even be close. Next, have bad Colts, bro. Pathetic to be honest. They are, man. But you know what, Matt? I thought when I, when they first announced that Matt Ryan was going to the Colts, and you saw when Wentz was there and what Wentz did and how that team was, you said all they need is a decent quarterback. All I need is a it had to be a great quarterback, a decent quarterback. Yeah, Snuffleupagus, whatever. Kyle. You know what I'm talking about. Out of Purdue. I thought that Ryan would just do help move this team forward. And now it just looks like Ryan just needs to retire. This should be his last year. That's how bad it looks for him. Um, you got the Texans and the Bears. Only people watching this are people who live in Texas and people who live in Chicago. That's it. Nobody wants to see this crap. This is this is a snooze fest. But if I had to pick, I kind of think I kind of lean towards Chicago. Um, I think Justin Fields and that Chicago defense is enough to beat the Texans. I mean, Davis Mills, they look good. They look decent. I ain't gonna say good. I think good is too strong of a word. They look decent, but I just don't think they can beat Chicago. I get the edge Chicago, even though in the pick'em league I did pick Houston. I think I picked Houston, but I'm gonna go Chicago though. You ain't watching your own teams, Matt. I don't know. It's one of those games, man. It's hard to pick who will win this game.
Sorry.
It's hard. Oh, there you go, man. It's hard to pick who will win this game. Texans and Bears. I I don't know, man.
I take the Texans because at least their quarterback can throw.
See, I think Justin Fields will do good in this game for his ability to run.
Dude, I think he's thrown 7 and 11 times the first 2 games. I don't. They are very, very far away from helping him and building around him.
Yeah, they are. The line's not that great. I don't know. I think in the pick me, I picked the Texans, but now I'm looking. I'm like, should I go Chicago? You know, the team is great to watch. I mean, Davis Mills is better quarterback than Fields, but I think Fields more athletic.
Oh, definitely athletic.
Yeah. I think I like Chicago's defense, even though who did the Texans get? I can't think who they drafted.
They drafted Stingley Jr. and they
That's what it
drafted
is.
Kenyon Green, the guard.
I was thinking about Stingley Jr. He's been playing pretty decent too. I don't know, man. I probably go waiver back and forth until the game come on with this one. Chargers and Jags. What you think?
If it was in Jacksonville, I would lean maybe a little bit that way.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert didn't break a rib. He sprained some cartilage in between the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan Allen's supposed to be back. Hold up. More than Justin Fields? Yes. Yes, 100%. At this moment, this week, this game, Yeah. I'm not saying career. I'm not saying long-term season. But as of right now, Justin Fields has shown that the Bears have no faith to allow him to throw the goddamn ball. You're down 20-7 and you throw the ball 4 times in the second half. It's bad. It's ugly. He does not get it.
Here's the thing. This goes back to what I said earlier too, Nick. I was in the Chicago, some of these Chicago chat rooms and podcasts, and just watching, and these people are making Fields out to be Montana. I'm like, bro, are y'all watching the same thing I'm watching?
What, the state of Montana that nobody wants to be in?
Right.
Go Montana. He made 2 completions in the 4th quarter.
Did you see that read? Did you see that read? Yeah, one out of 15 is not going to do anything. No. I don't know, man. And that goes back to what I was saying about being a fan of the game and fan of the team.
Yeah. He's very, very capable. I'm on record as saying he was my favorite prospect coming out. I think he will get it, but I don't think the talent is there on that offense to help this guy succeed.
Right.
They got Montgomery. They got a decent back. But by the time you get the line right and the time you get the weapons there, it's going to be like Montgomery. You're going to have to get a new running back.
Right. Right.
So it's not going to all click. They are several years from, I think, being a competitive team. Best case scenario. And I don't think it's Fields' fault. I think you build up your team more and then you draft a quarterback.
I agree.
You take the quarterback as the first piece, you fail.
They should have did that. They should have built that line first. So then you build your line, you build them trenches first. Yeah. Then you put your quarterback back. Especially if we got a young quarterback. You bust his confidence. You throw his real. There's so much stuff you can do to damage a quarterback when you put him in with a bad line.
Yep.
So we don't know what's the outcome of Justin Fields of 4 years of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might mess his game up so much he may not even recover. Confidence is a mug when it comes to playing the game, man. I mean, it's not the end all to be all, but it is if you don't have enough confidence to go out there and do it, it messes up your mental, and you got to have your mental right to play this game.
100%. I do want to add this real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at it. I started off with a horrific week 1 in the pick'em, and I was in 8th place out of 8. And after 1 week, I was tied for the second best week in week 2 with you, and moved up to 4th. So I leapfrogged 4 people in 1 week. Watch out, baby. Daddy's gonna come. That's what she said.
Rams and Cardinals.
Oh, Chargers. I take the Chargers.
I'm saying, yeah. I forgot to say, yeah.
After I
thought that was obvious that we both taking Chargers.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All
right. Rams and Cardinals, man.
Rams. I'm not a fan of Murray. I just think you need to collapse for Murray to win a game. And who's covering Kupp?
Yeah.
I mean, and if it's not Kupp, they throw it like 7-8 times to Higbee. So if Kupp's taking your linebacker and your safety, they're filling Higbee right into that hole of what Kupp creates. So if they're a team that's going to get clicking as the season goes on. I hate the Cardinals. Like I think they're a 3rd place team. I think they're bad. Like I don't like them. I didn't like them with Hopkins, and now you're without Hopkins. You need that little Ewok to run around like that. Matt, right now, Jamel is in 1st. You are tied with him, but the way they have it with the rankings, you are losing the tiebreaker, I believe. You're both tied at 18, but since he had the better, more recent week, I think that's their tiebreaker. So he's ahead in the standings. Or he did better with the Monday night pick'em points.
So
I was the only one, even my own goddamn kids. I was the only one to take the Jets last week.
That did the Jets last week? I don't think I took them.
I'm looking at the group picks right now for week 2.
No, I didn't take them. I think about it.
You know what's funny? The top 4 teams in the league took the Lions, the bottom four took Washington, and that was like, this is why we're on top. We know what we're doing.
Matt said tiebreaker my ass. Yeah, I'm with you though. I take the Rams, man. Kyler Murray is like he's frustrating to watch. It's like you see, okay, yeah, I can see him being a great quarterback. Then he just does something stupid. It's just this team is frustrating to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be going crazy because it's like you can see, like, oh wow, they may be good this year, and then they do something that just like totally asinine. You be like, what the hell? I mean, if it wasn't for the breakdown of Vegas, they got blown out.
Did you see the meme of Kyler Murray running around the 80-something yards?
Yeah.
He says Kyler Murray looks like a toddler who just stole his parents' phone and won't give it back. And as you read that, you're watching him.
Yeah, because the way he run, he's like, it's so awkward.
He hold the ball like he's like, yeah!
I know, man. I know.
100%.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating, man. But I'll go on the Rams. Packers, Bucks.
Can I ask Matt a question? Matt, in the pick'em, your initials are MJ. I want to know whether to love you or hate you. Is that for Michael Jordan or is that for Michael Jackson? Because I want to know if I have to think you're creepy and hate you, or if you're the goat and I gotta love you. One of my favorite comedians, Andrew Schultz, did a thing. He goes, "Yo, I wish to God that when I hear Michael Jackson songs come on, like who likes Michael Jackson?" And people cheer. Some people, not everybody. He goes, "I wish to God I could be like you guys, that I could hear him come on and I could just hear the king of pop and appreciate him and not hear the king of pop and cherries in my head."
Man, allegedly. Hey man, it hasn't been proven. Man. Hasn't been proven.
I'll quote Dave Chappelle. Turns out Michael Jackson likes a long gander at the anus.
Packers and Bucks.
Packers and Bucks. Man, I hope the Bucks are dog shit on offense right now. 2 games, 2 touchdowns, but 2 wins.
Yeah.
They're without Evans. It's in Tampa, right?
I think so.
Fuck it. I hate Tampa Bay. I hate Tom Brady, and now I hate Todd Bowles because he coaches this piece of shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers. I'm rooting heavily for the Packers in this game. Like I root against Brady, and now he looks like shit. So I'm gonna root heavier. But that being said, everybody bet Brady to have like 5 touchdowns this week, probably in the first half.
See, that's the thing, man. It's the way he been playing. Logically, you would take the Packers. He haven't looked good the last couple of games. But then Aaron Rodgers didn't look good the first game. He looked so in the second game. But then you gotta look who he's playing also. Then Brady himself, he's known for like using stuff as motivation and just like coming out, you looking like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? As much as you might not like Brady or whatever, you gotta still give him props on stuff like that. Oh my God, stop doing this shit. I don't know why my computer does it. They don't have none of the notifications pops up at all. And all of a sudden, they just want to keep popping up all the notifications.
Oh, yeah. That does it on this one, too.
Yeah, it's like annoying.
I actually just changed my pick from the Bucks to the Packers and everything. I don't know why.
I was thinking about doing. I think I took the Bucks. I'm gonna stick with him. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay, man. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay. I think Brady he's bound to have a breakout game because he haven't had one yet. This is a 4-touchdown game.
I'm waiting for him to have his breakdown game.
Last game, the Falcons and Seahawks.
Toilet bowl.
My mind want to say Falcons, man.
I'm gonna say the Falcons just because I don't think Seattle can cover London and Pitts. Pitts hasn't even gotten going yet. He's only got like 2 catches in each of the first 2 games. I
I
think
know.
both. I think he's got 2 catches for 19 yards in total. Like each game's identical numbers.
Oh wow.
So
Max said Green Bay.
London is starting to blow up. Mariota is going to feed the 2 of them, and I don't think that they're going to be able to do much.
Yeah, I might change my pick. I think I took Seattle in a pick'em thing, but I was leaning towards Atlanta when I kept looking at Atlanta, kept looking at Atlanta. I said I'm gonna take Seattle, but I think I'm gonna go back with Atlanta. I don't know, man. It's one of them games is I won't be watching. I just catch the highlights on for one thing.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta. I know that's a tough trip to make, but if Denver doesn't turn the ball over 3 times inside the red zone,
what was the Monday night game? Hold on, let me look. I forgot the Monday night game. Did I skip over? Did I skip on the Monday night game?
Well, we talk about that on Monday's show, right? It's
Yeah,
Giants
yeah.
and Cowboys. I'm just saying that to fuck with Matt.
I thought I brought it up. He brought it up. Matt brought it up. That's what it was. All right, told him though.
Brought up the Thanksgiving matchup.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm picking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants.
I can always do it against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think I just the only reason Dallas won last week is because how bad the Cowboy or the Bengals line is.
Yeah.
And I know Parsons is a motherfucker to deal with, but if you can stop him, you can get things going.
Yeah, I'll take the Giants in this one.
That'd be a good test for the Giants, right? They haven't beaten the Cowboys in a while.
Right.
Granted, that was with Dak. But I think it's a good test to kind of see where they're at. If they can stop the pass rush, they have a chance. If they're getting their doors blown off and Jones is getting harassed and it's 5, 6, 7 sacks and a bunch of hurries and throwing the ball away because it's just Cowboys teeing off, Cowboys can compete and maybe win the game. But I think this is the Giants' games to lose, to be completely honest.
For the white part. Okay.
Yeah, my buddy texted me today. He's like, great. He goes, now I got to dig out the old Rich Seibert jersey because he had lineman back in the day. He had a white jersey. So I got to wear this shit on Monday.
So I want to bring this up. I know if you heard about the what's the guy name? I.O.W. What's his name? The guy coach for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Imi I.O.W. Kevin.
I heard a little bit about it today. Damn, my face is puffy as fuck.
Yeah, Thibodeau's playing. I like to see what he does too.
Is he? Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that then.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I may watch it because of that. I don't know. So like when I first saw the reports, it kept saying that violate was it, you know how they do that the wording violating the league rules, or I had to pull it up what exactly they said. But
Isaiah Thomas rule, right?
Yeah, right. But then then I went searching. They said something about allegedly, because I mean, this is on the internet, that he's supposed to have cheated on Nia Long with Stafford. I don't see why he should be in trouble for that.
It was consensual relationship.
Yeah, if it's consensual,
like it's personal, unless when you sign on as a coach or a GM, it's in your contract that you do not do that with any members of the organization. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're in breach of contract, that's when the team can do something.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But if that's not in there, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, we can talk a moral problem, but I'm talking about far as affecting what he does on the court as a coach.
It had to be in the contract. It has to be in like a personal conduct contract, because teams don't want to deal with that shit, right? So they'll put that in a contract to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if you breach that, you're in breach of contract, and that's why you're eligible for suspension, right?
Yeah, that's what I would love to see what it is, because no, they are really saying if that's what it is. I can understand it from that standpoint, but if that's not in the contract, I think it's dumb to really you let the man handle his own personal business. The only time you get involved is when he brings that into the arena. You know what I'm saying? Like his wife comes in acting a fool and stuff like that, then that's when you step in and get involved.
Yes and no.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I said, it goes back to where I don't give a shit. I mean, go be a dirty dog. I don't care.
Right.
But if you're in breach of contract, you're in breach of contract, and the organization's going to protect themselves from lawsuit and say, okay, because what's to say her now she's embarrassed?
Mm-hmm.
What's to prevent her from now saying, I felt coerced to do it because he's the head coach of the Celtics? So the organization has to protect themselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to. It's liability. If you breach the contract as a coach, or even her end, if you're an employee, it might say no fraternizing with the coaches or players, right?
Right. So then, why, if that's the case, she should be mentioning in it also. It only mentions him as in the wrong and not her in the wrong.
No, because no one gives a shit what happens to her, right? She doesn't affect on court play.
Right. Right.
I mean,
right.
I'm not saying no one gives a shit what happens.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
She's throwing poon to the walls, so let her throw the poon to the walls.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't give a shit. Like I just
I don't care. I don't care.
People I'm friends with, Tyrus, who's been on the show with you guys, he was commenting today. Why don't we hear more about Brett Favre with what he's doing? I'm like, I'll be honest with you. I think it's because Brett Favre's not an active player. Like what he's doing is more political atrocity, not a sports. No, but he's a famous athlete. Yeah, but he's not active. And then someone's like, "Oh, we heard all about Michael Vick." I go, "Michael Vick was active. When you're an active player and you do something, Deshaun Watson, for example, you're going to hear about it because it's an active player. When you're a retired player and you do something atrocious, it's more in the field that it happens in. Like it's a shame what Favre pulled down in Mississippi, but I think it's more of a political debate than a sports debate. Even though it happened in the sports field, like all right, mention it, but and
here's what
knows too. A lot of people hate what ESPN has become the last couple of years.
Oh man, I have to
taking their sports shit and bringing it to a political side. So they get that feedback. They see the tweets. They know what people want to hear about. Not everyone wants to hear about that.
I'm gonna say this. I agree and I disagree with you, but I want why we're addressing this because I saw your comment on Facebook, and so I'm gonna address it just in case anybody else who might have made a comment or whatever seen it, they can hear it. I understand it. Let me say it like this.
Wait, are you talking about the coach or the Favre thing now?
The Favre thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We always gonna see we gonna see things from a different perspective because of the cultural difference. That's always gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be things we agree on, you know, because we both men, we both like sports. But there's some cultural things that come in. We'll see things different because of past things that might have happened to each one of us, wherever how it goes. So I can understand someone saying this could be have a racial component to it. And I do understand that. And a lot of times, especially with a lot of black people, because of things that happen, when things arise, sometimes it's like you sit back and say, okay, this had a racial component to it because of things that happened in the past. But to say that that's the reason why we're posting or we're commenting on it because of that, I have a problem with that. You know, I have a problem with saying that we got our Facebook page, because I'm trying to remember exactly what was said, but they said our Facebook page is promoting a white side and not the black side, whatever. I'm paraphrasing, can't remember exactly what the guy said. It's idiotic to me. I think that anything
what comment are we talking about?
Wasn't I can pull it up. Let me pull it up. I remember you
when I tagged you and Lamar in yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh no, that's got nothing to do with this. That had to do with the poll, the sports poll.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Favre thing.
That had to do with the sports poll, and yeah, no, that has nothing to do with Favre. That had to do with the Gretzky versus Tiger Woods poll.
Oh. Okay.
And someone made the comment of the winner of this is going to depend on the racial makeup of the group.
Okay.
And I'm like, why the fuck would you? Why? Like, that's not what sports is.
Okay.
And no, that had nothing to do with the Favre. You're getting two different comments
mixed up. Okay.
Quote Jada in an
entanglement.
Just so happens, look, Jada, I look like you. No, you got two different discussions mixed up.
Okay.
One had nothing to do with Favre. There was no. The comments I made about the Favre thing was on Tyrus Kennedy's page. Nothing that I saw came up in the group.
I still think because Favre has a podcast to talk about sports, because Favre is a sports player, it should be talked about. And I think if it was anyone else, I give a good example. When Favre was a player and the incident happened with the Texan with the woman, they didn't talk about that as much as they talk about other things, especially not Deshaun. I saw Deshaun.
He was a jet when that happened, bro. That was all over the media up here.
It might be up over because it's local stuff. That's probably why it's more. But I'm talking about nationally.
And that woman was phenomenal. If I had her number, I would have sent the pic too.
But nationally, it wasn't. I mean, to me, when it came to I'm about to say Lamar. When it came to Deshaun, it was like, bruh. I was watching like Good Morning America was talking about it. I was watching Sesame Street. They were talking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything you watch, they're talking about it. I was like, come on, man. Things that people don't even talk about sport, they're talking about it. So I think a lot of people kind of like, well, come on, man. At least bring this up as even as you did about Brett Favre. Now, it's not to say I do understand your point about current players. You know what I'm saying? But I think it deserves more attention because who Favre it was, I can't say is, but was as a player, it should have been brought up more. Now, having said it, I think it's stupid what Favre has done.
Agreed. Like, no argument. Like, you can't argue that. It's asinine. It's kind of like cheating. Don't put that shit in text.
Yes. My God.
I'm not saying what he did was right, but it's a life lesson. Sometimes we give life lessons here on I.O.W. If you're gonna be a creep where it's not screenshot and saved forever.
Yeah.
Now, I told my son that one time. He got in, like, he was in like 6th grade and he got into some words with somebody and says, I go, listen, don't ever text a threat. In someone's face, be a man and be like, you say that shit again, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right.
Don't put it in text because now it can be saved forever for the world to see and it can ruin you down the road.
Yeah. That bring that jack up later. You get ready to get a job. You're like, remember what you said back in high school? Like, what?
But that being said, Brett Favre, cut the fucking check yourself, dude. You care that much about it, cut the check yourself. Go do a fucking signing in Green Bay one weekend for charity. Go do it in Mississippi. Go do in Texas somewhere. Just you're Brett Favre. Show the fuck up. Put 4 weekends in a month where you go do signings and then you donate all of that money to the fund to get a stadium. Why do you got to try to be corrupt? Like, I mean, it's a shitty thing to do.
You got so much pull, so many people you know.
Exactly.
You can come up with the money just by being Brett Favre.
Yeah. You call a couple of your friends from the NFL and be like, hey, we need a couple donations from down here, right? Jerry Rice from Mississippi, in the schools of Mississippi, right?
Mississippi Valley State. Yeah, Mississippi Valley.
Make a couple calls. Do a fucking huge charity thing. Do a fucking huge dinner. You know, do with different celebrities and famous athletes coming out. Do good with your fame. Don't use your fame and your notoriety for something negative. That's awful.
But and going back to the poll, go ahead. White man out to get fired. And going back to the poll.
White man shows no limits. We're out to get everyone.
Everybody.
Mel's like, preach, Nick, preach. Microphone's all yours. Mel's like, I've been saying it for years.
Gretzky and since we brought that up, to Gretzky and Tiger Woods, to me, if you look at what each guy did to the sport, it is hard to vote, but I still get an edge to Gretzky. And
Here's why.
it's not a color thing. I
No,
still get an edge to Gretzky
no.
because of what he did for the sport of hockey.
And that's what ticked me off is that it
With
made
two teams, he was great on both teams.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Three.
Was it 3?
He was great in Edmonton, Oilers, LA, and New York.
In New York, right. I forgot about that.
Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a hockey guy.
Mm.
I can talk about Wayne Gretzky because Wayne Gretzky transcended all sports.
That's it.
Okay. When I was a kid, I very rarely watched hockey. In the 90s, a buddy lived a block away from me. He's a huge Devils fan. They were starting to win. We'd go out to drink and go drink at his house when we were in high school watching the games. I became like a Devils fan just for the social aspect of it, right?
Right.
So after that, I really can't like I know Sidney Crosby. Like I can mention some of the big names. You know, I can't mention a lot of guys now because it's just I'm not in that. Gretzky had, if you took away his goals, he was still the leading scorer in the league that year, just on his assists alone, while everyone else combined their goals and assists. He was so far above and better than everyone else. Now, I'm not saying Tiger in his prime wasn't, but with the longevity of Tiger hasn't even surpassed Jack yet.
Right.
So I have a hard time voting for the second or third greatest all time in one sport against the clear-cut greatest. And if you look at the differential from between Gretzky and his peers to other athletes and their peers, Gretzky is the best of all time. Because he was so far above and beyond better than everybody else. Like if Tiger, what he did at that Masters when he won it and like set the course record, if he did that every tournament, then he's Wayne Gretzky. Doing it once in a while, you can't be on Gretzky's level. And I'm glad at least the group got it right because there was some crazy voting like in this group and some crazy opinions being put up throughout it.
Tiger Woods revolutionized the sport of golf. It wouldn't be what it. I agree with that, Matt. But I think it's like you look at it like this. And Gordie Howe was mentioned all the time when it came to the best player in hockey until Gretzky came into the game.
Yes, and he saw Gretzky and was like, "This guy's the greatest I've ever seen."
Right. I remember Gretzky, man. At that time, I didn't watch hockey. I didn't. No, I watched if the Red Wings was in the playoffs. I might watch it and stuff like that. I really didn't watch hockey, but I knew who Gretzky was. I remember watching SportsCenter and I saw highlights of Gretzky. Gretzky made someone who didn't watch hockey at least pay attention to hockey. Now, Tiger did that in a way, but he brought eyes to sport. He brought black people to golf more than they were before. I'm not saying black people didn't play golf, but more than they were before. Casual fans. That's probably the best way to say it. He brought casual fans there because I didn't care. He
transcended cultures and he made it popular to those that maybe the game hadn't used before. Up until the mid '90s, it was known as an old white man's game or a rich man's game, right?
A rich man's game, right?
Yeah.
But I think so. I
go golfing and there's fucking everybody out there,
right? But it's not
we're all in the woods together looking for our balls.
Can I get a mulligan? But I just think that if you think about Wayne Gretzky, man, he was great for a long time. I mean, granted, Tiger had back problems, and that's probably what sidelined him, and then he never was the same since then. But that's just like anything. If you think about Bo Jackson, if he would have got injured, he could have been the greatest thing you ever talked about. But we never know because he got injured.
Right? That's
part of the game. So same thing with Tiger. I think Tiger didn't reach his, I said full potential, but what he could have been or longevity wise because of the injury. But Gretzky played those longevity years, so that's why I have to give it to Gretzky.
Agreed. And nobody is a bigger Tiger fan than me. My Tiger won that Masters 2 years ago. 19?
Yeah, I 19. Think so.
The year before the pandemic, Tiger won that Masters, right? He came back. Dude, it was a Sunday afternoon, and I rushed to the fucking cemetery to go see my dad and like talk to him, like before they closed the gates. Like that's how like much like me and my dad loved Tiger.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no shame in being fifth or sixth place and the greatest of all time, like vote
Yeah.
or
It,
tour.
it, it's all it's all perspective and everything. I mean,
Yeah,
it's all for fun, but I think to bring a racial component now, if you say everybody that voted for was all white, then maybe you may have a point. But when it comes to these two people, I don't see a racial component being in there because you're looking at two
if
great
you're
players.
voting for Kirk Cousins over Tiger Woods,
Then that's different. Then you might have an
that's
argument,
gonna be like boom, red flags, right?
right?
Like what the fuck's going on here?
Why is Kirk Cousins even
But to
on the
vote
poll?
for Gretzky over Tiger is
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I made a comment to Randy. I was like, listen, like these comments are outrageous. I'm like, if you can't be like saying that because that's not what this group is about. And like I
Right.
said to him, it's a bad look for me, Lamar, Jamel, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because a couple people messaged me like, what the fuck what is this? Is this what you guys are about?
Right.
And I'm like, I'll say something. I'm like, you know me, I'm not afraid to say something.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
Randy's like, oh, we're just joking. I'm like, okay. I called you out. You say it's just joking. I make jokes all the time. You know that.
Right.
We all make racial jokes on here all the time.
Right.
But
Right.
we do it where you can hear us. You can see our tone. You see the laughter amongst us. You know there's no will ill or like hard line drawn in the sand.
Right.
So I went, okay. I had to ask, as you know, someone who's the admins of the group. It got brought to me. I had to ask you. You're clarifying it. Thank you. Done deal.
Right.
You know, if he would have been like, "Oh, fuck you and fuck the white people," I would have been like, oh, "Okay, now we got a problem." Like now, thanks for everything.
Now I see where you're coming from.
Yes, and I agree. Fuck white people. What are you gonna? I'm gonna say no.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get white women my whole life. That's my life's goal.
But let's talk about Judge, man. We got to at least talk about Judge, man.
Go ahead. I got to take this call real quick. You start it up, and I'll be right back.
All right. I need to pull it up with his final numbers. Well, I know Matt will help me out. Let me pull it up. But if you look at what he's doing this year, and I think we had brought it up on the last show, there's no way this man should not get MVP. I don't care what Tiny does. I don't care what anybody does. The way he's been playing, I think if the season ends today, he should be the shoe in for MVP. I mean the Lakers. The Yankees went on this slump, and people was like, "What's going on with the Yankees? What's going on with the Yankees?" But you know what stayed consistent? Aaron Judge. When the pitching went away, you know what stayed consistent? Aaron Judge. When the bats was going cold, you know what stayed consistent? Aaron Judge. So my thing is like if a player is consistent like that, no matter what the ups and downs of the team is doing, he should be MVP of that team. Not Shohei Ohtani, not whoever else they put up there. Aaron Judge. I hope the writers hear this. Matter of fact, I need to go and troll a couple of the writers' Twitter pages. Aaron Judge should be a clear winner, man. I think he's going after Maris record next. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? I haven't got a chance to watch them like I want to. There's a lot of stuff I've been watching on highlights. But here's the thing I always say about sports. If a player is in a sport that you don't normally watch, and I watch baseball, I'm just using that as an example, but he brings your eyes to that sport, he should be in the conversation of MVP, just in the conversation. That he's in the conversation. Now, from that conversation, if you go to what he's done statistic wise and what he's mean to that team, that brings him into at least a top 3 mention of MVP. When you go from there and you take that person off a team, and then you see what that team would be without that person, that brings him to the number one mention of MVP. Hands down. And we said this before, but I'm reiterating. If you take Otani off the Angels still are the Angels. There's no movement anyway. If even they suck. Let me just say that. If you take Judge off the Yankees is not the same team. It's been showing because his consistency has been the same throughout the Yankees tenure this year. What'd you say, Matt? It says also leads the league in runs scored, slug percentage, OPS, and extra bases. Yeah. Runs back. Look at that. This man should be MVP, man. If the Yankees win a pennant, he definitely should be MVP. But I don't think they have to win it to give it to him. But I'm saying if they win it and he don't get it, we need to see this thing is rigged. It's rigged. But I mean, he's been having a phenomenal season, man. Phenomenal.
It's one of the best seasons I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the part that aggravates the hell out of me is this stupid manager Boone's got him hitting first or second, so he always comes up with like nobody on.
Yeah, which is dumb.
I looked up the other day. Alex Rodriguez had 55 home runs or 56 in 2006 with the Yankees. 150 something RBIs. Judge is 60 home runs. He's at 128.
Right.
So, like he's averaging like 1.4 RBIs per home run. The majority of his home runs are no one on base. Like you hit 60 home runs, you should be pushing 155 RBIs.
Right.
Just on. But we're also in a generation where fucking hitters suck. Nobody gets on base anymore. It's a home run or nothing. Which is what's so impressive about him hitting 317 with 60.
Right.
He went into the All-Star break, I think 294. I think he's hitting like 370 in the second half, which is incredible for somebody who's hitting the ball out of the park at the rate he is.
Right.
And I really hope he does it tonight because I hope he hits 2 tonight. I just saw Alex Cora commented, we will pitch to Aaron Judge. We're not going to pitch around him.
Fine.
Good. Your pitching staff sucks. Let him hit 2 tonight because tomorrow night the Yankees are supposed to be on Apple TV. And the Yes Network is like, yo, we'll trade you multiple games. Give us Friday night.
What Matt say?
And here's the thing with Otani.
Mm-hmm.
You're not winning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're not the reason your team's in first place. You take Aaron Judge off the Yankees, they're probably a third place team at best. Mm-hmm. This guy has been a part of many comebacks, many victories. Value. It's not most outstanding player. You could take Kevin Durant every year and say you're the most outstanding player. Mm-hmm. So when he plays, I don't think there's anybody better right now in the NBA.
Right.
There are years where Peyton Manning may not have the best team, but Peyton Manning was the most valuable player every year. I say this all the time. Tom Brady tore his ACL in 2008 in the first game against the Chiefs. They still went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Manning hurt his neck. They went from 13-3 to 3-13 and the number 1 overall pick. You cannot tell me in any way, shape, or form that Tom Brady has been more valuable to his team than Peyton Manning was based on that alone. You take one guy off the team, they fall off the face of the earth. You take one guy off the team, you fall by 2 games.
Hey.
I look at Judge, and what Otani does is special. It's unique, right? It's new. It's the oddity. It's, oh my God, this is so amazing. We've never seen this before. His value is insane. His value is to a fucking last place team multiple years in a row. You can hit 150 home runs and finish in last place. So I always felt there should be 2 awards. Most outstanding player, most valuable player.
I agree.
It clears up all the voting. It clears up all of the interpretation. Who had the most outstanding? Some years it might be the same guy. Like this year, it would be Judge for both. But sometimes, like Don Mattingly in the 80s had, I think, set a record in a season for game-winning hits. Mm-hmm. That's value. That's value. Right. Might not have the most outstanding offensive season, but his value was through the roof with what he did in the clutch. Derek Jeter had value. Was never the most outstanding hitter in baseball.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think too. When you look at the term most valuable, it stats shouldn't be the only thing you're looking at. Stats help. Stats help to push the conversation, but it's not shouldn't be the only thing you look at because some people's stats may not be as great as other players, but what they are to that team or to the game itself. Like I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but like I said earlier, it's like when a player can take a person or people who don't normally follow that game and bring eyes to that game, they bring value. That adds to
Impact,
the
right?
value.
I think impact is the word
Right.
you want to use. Like
Yeah. Right.
impact the game and
Mm-hmm.
impact viewership. And
Right.
what's your Tiger Woods, right?
Right.
Great impact on the sport,
Mm-hmm.
right? Tiger Woods' value to the game of sport is infinite.
Right.
Judge this year, people are watching. People
It's
are
almost
talking.
like the time when McGuire and all them was hitting a home run. Everybody was like, let's see what so now it's almost the same thing. People are watching Sports Center. People are watching
Yeah.
Their Twitter page or whatever. They get their
Other
sports from
networks
to
are
see.
tuning to the Yes Network when Judge comes up to show
Right.
you who's at bat. Now,
Right.
it's not even near 70 or 73. It's just because he's about to break the AL record and the Yankee record, which shows you the impact of the Yankees. If this was a Pittsburgh or Kansas City guy going, I don't think anyone would give a shit. But a Yankee going to Ty Ruth and then Ty Maris and eventually pass him, that's huge because it's been the Yankees with the AL home record since 1920 something. It's been the Yankees have it. It was Ruth and Maris, and now it'll be Judge.
And I mean, so there's no to me there's no debate. He should be MVP. Period, hands down.
You know someone's going to be stupid, right? You know
always, man.
A couple of people are going to be stupid. I watch Ohtani every day.
But here's the thing, man, and I said this before: it's people judge and vote through their emotion, not with their eyes and what they see.
Yeah.
You know, what's a great? This is a better story. You know, you have this foreign guy who comes home from another country. He pitches and he hits and he does both of them pretty well. You know, this is a great story. Blah blah blah. He can be the face of base. All that stuff. You know, they use that to influence their voting. And to me, it's like, yeah, it's all well and good, but what is who is? I mean, the most valuable player. That's how you should judge it. Storylines out. I don't care if Aaron Judge was the worst person off the field. You know what I'm saying? But when he's on that baseball diamond and he's producing, that's what you vote on. That's why I think baseball, and I always say this, have things wrong. They need to put Pete Rose should be in a Hall of Fame. Who cares? What he did outside of baseball, I don't care. What did he do on that diamond? That's what we should be voting on. You know, none of y'all that's doing this writing, sports writing stuff, more compasses all centered. Y'all probably doing something worse or just haven't got caught. So I think you bring morality into your voting. To me, is stupid. Let's vote for what we see. You can be the biggest asshole, but if you producing on wherever sport you playing, you producing, they should get the vote. Period. I'm not saying that's what Judge is. I'm just using that as an example because some people vote that way too. Well, I can't vote for him because he did this or she done that or whatever. Who cares? Ohtani not even the best hitter on this team, right? I agree. All right, man. So I'm trying to think. What else was
I got two things I want to touch on.
Go ahead.
I'm going to touch on this one first.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to get all the info. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? He's a minor. I don't want to say his name.
That's fine.
Local high school team, Linden High School here in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who I've coached with multiple years. Our sons, played football together.
Mm-hmm.
He's a defensive coordinator and assistant coach for a varsity team in Linden.
Okay.
They tragically lost a player this week. He got a hit to the head. He was a sophomore running back.
Mhm.
His first varsity game, had 10 tackles in the first half, and suffered a hit to the head, and unfortunately, tragically died late last
night. Wow.
So it's kind of puts in perspective as much fun and as much excitement and entertainment as sports brings us. It can humble you very, very quickly.
Right.
You know, kid was a sophomore, probably 15 years old, and his whole life ahead of him, and doing something he loved. And I messaged my buddy today, and told me he was a great kid, and just a great talent too. And it's a shame that it happened. And 2 weeks earlier, Rawway High School, which is the next town over, they lost a player as well. A friend of mine who grew up playing with. I don't think it was on the field; it was off the field related. I think it was a health issue.
Okay.
But just two major losses to kids, man. Just kids, and it's sad. You know, I sent him best wishes, and I was like, "Listen, man, good luck to you and Albie, his like best friend, who's the varsity coach, navigating the team through this. Like, I couldn't imagine what you guys are going through. The team, the family, the school, the town. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's tragic, man. It's tragic.
I got a kid who plays football, and it's something you don't think about a lot, but I would be completely lying to you if I said it's something I never thought about or a fear that I've had. There's been a couple times he's gotten hit, and I'm like, all right, move.
Right.
Moving.
Right. Oh. And it raises those questions when people talk about, because you see the NFL, quote unquote, making strides to make the game more protective of players. Should that same things be passed down to college and high school players? You know, I think if the NFL cares about the game, I think they should invest into the high school and college and make sure they have the right equipment in their local towns. So things like this, hopefully you can prevent it happening in a greater rate. You can't 100% stop it.
Yeah.
But you can do things to make it, to mitigate it happening to
and
players.
Actually, the NFL, for everything that you said is true. Pop Warner and high schools actually took the lead. Those Guardian helmets you've seen?
Yeah.
They're basically shock absorbers. And in 2019, my son started wearing them in Pop Warner.
Okay.
And the belief behind it is, and everything that we've been told from the football president, the organization, the region, and everything, is that they believe kids take more hits during the head during practice throughout the week than they do in the game.
Okay.
So let's put the shock absorbers on, which are supposed to decrease the hits by like 60%. When you're doing your hitting drills, you're blocking. All the interior linemen, they crash heads a lot.
Right.
So it's not intentional. It's just when two forces come together, eventually you're going to get a collision.
Right. Man, I hate to hear stuff like that, man. Hate to hear stuff like that. It
was horrible. And to see that it's my buddy's team, and not that I would ever feel good about it anywhere else, but to see that it hits close to home like that, and a friend of yours, it's heartbreaking. I can't imagine being in that locker room, being in those hallways, and being that family that you're watching a kid play something that he loves. You're watching him excel. You're watching him play for a good program in the second quarter, or his second year in high school. He's contributing to the varsity team.
Wow.
It's really, really, really bad. It's heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine addressing the team. Like, I'm almost getting choked up talking about it. I don't even know the kid. I just feel bad for my buddy.
Right. So why you have to end the show on that, man?
I didn't. I wanted to end it on something else. That's why I spoke about that first.
Okay, well, go ahead.
A kid from Utah got arrested. A Utah student was arrested after threatening to detonate a nuclear reactor that is located on campus if the Utes lost to San Diego State Saturday. My initial reaction?
Why the hell is it one like that?
I've said much worse during the Jets game. I've said much worse. Man, if I ever got mic'd up, man, I'd be in Guantanamo Bay, brother.
Well, why is there a nuclear actor on campus? I'm just curious
They
about that.
probably have some program there about nuclear studies.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I think that any threat like that you have to take to a degree of seriousness, but at the same time, I think once you interview the kid and who said it, he probably said out of emotion, especially if it's at college level, high school level like that. You say a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy stuff. And if it was alcohol, anything else involved.
It's a factor in probability too, right? Like or
Yeah.
capability. Does
Right.
he even have a chance to get anywhere near that thing?
Right.
Like, is he just a drunk frat boy talking stupid and he tweeted something and now everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to set. Wait a minute. Does he have the ways and means? Number two, if anybody can go do that, it probably shouldn't be there, right?
Like, that's an issue. That's a big issue, right? Right.
Man, we lost. Oh, man. Oh, my peanut butter and jelly, the crust wasn't cut off. Ah. How simple is it to do it?
I think it would be.
Exactly, Matt.
Right.
Capability.
Right.
There's so many things that factor in. But
it's crazy, man.
That's why I saved that story for the end, so we get out of here.
Right. And who cares about Utah anyway?
Yeah. It's not like you're going to ruin any liquor stores on the bottom. Right. So we're good.
I had the worst pussy I ever had in Utah.
Wow. Wow. Because it was dick. Dude, we've been on for 2 hours, 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and you haven't said it yet. That calls for it.
Fuck you, Nick.
I was going to let it go, but when I made that comment, I'm like, all right, this calls for it. And I figured you were just being nice to me because Lamar wasn't here and you didn't want to do the show solo. And I figured you were going to double up the next time we're all together.
Now, I'm still tired, bro. I don't know what's up today. But anyway, thanks for all those who tuned in. Appreciate Matt and being on the show. All the rest of the people who I saw chiming in, Kofi. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate the subscribership that we've been getting. Channel's been growing. Was he a Mormon? See, now you got Matt all into it.
He's in Utah. He had to be. Well, let's be real. You wouldn't want to do that and kill all your wives.
Right.
I sent my buddy that picture, and he replied with it was the dorms or the fraternities hang these blankets with like shit talk signs on them. It says in Utah they don't play fuck, marry, kill. They play marry, marry, marry. That was one of the fraternities playing Utah talking trash.
And on that note,
looking at a flight to Utah.
Right. How much are those tickets? But anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. See y'all again on Monday, 4:00 p.m. Hopefully, one of us will be up. Get the show started on time.
Hopefully, we run the table, man. Hopefully, Chiefs, Lions, and Jets all win again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We'll be rooting for Matt on Monday night. I think we're all collectively rooting for Matt
on
Monday. So Matt says that sometimes we pick on him. Matt, we will only pick on you next Thursday if you guys drop the ball Monday night. It'll be a week of worship for Matt if you guys beat the Cowboys. I promise you.
If not, we're going to turn them Cowboy memes into Giant memes.
It's going to be a great weekend for Matt. It's going to be Judge hits like 62, 63 this weekend. Blows up the Red Sox. And then the Cowboys lose on Monday night on national television. Matt will be here live for the show on Monday if that happens. Or next Thursday. I'll make Matt come up here. I'm off on next Thursday.
Well, on behalf of the big homie Nick Shine and Wildcard Martin Absent, we'll see y'all again on Monday. Peace.
Fuck Mel.